they went from a deficit to, I don't know, maybe I'm just completely wrong.
Nope, you are not completely
Yeah, how do you
wrong.
calculate percentage change with a deficit for the first year?
That is just painful when you have a negative number for the first year. Hold on. So last year retained earnings was negative 2006. This year retained earnings is positive 26,000. So let's start with the difference. What's the difference?
66,952.
Positive or negative, Bryce?
Positive.
Great. That's exactly right. Okay. So now let's just bring over the calculations. Okay. So this is your growth and it's huge. Now I want you to think about this. What are the elements of the retained earnings statement? You guys remember this? This was on your, what's the 4 elements of the retained earnings statement?
Beginning balance.
So beginning balance, which we know, right? Beginning balance was this. And then what's our next item?
Net income.
Good. And that's going to be a plus, or it could be a minus, right? If it's a loss. But we know in this, we know it's net income. And what's the next item?
The less dividends.
That's correct. Less dividends. And then the last item is your ending balance, right? Okay. We don't know any of these numbers because,
You're not sharing your screen.
oh, phooey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm typing away here. Okay. All right. There you go. So here was the new balance, 26,363. Here's the old balance, negative 40,589. The difference is a growth. So if you do that math, this year minus last year, but you have 2 minuses, right? So it turns it into a positive. 26 minus 40,889 is a positive 66,952. Okay. So that's a huge growth rate. We don't know what the elements of that are, but we do know that it had to be a combination of these 2 numbers, net income and dividends. Net income would have increased that number. Dividends would have decreased that number. So you can make a statement here. You can't, I wouldn't focus on the net change. I think that's too weird with a deficit because it comes out as a negative. The math comes out as a negative. So let's just cross that out because it's just too, let's not mention that when it has that beginning balance of a negative. So let's build another sentence here where we don't focus on this. Okay, so this is sentence number 2. Retained earnings indicates what?
A growth in the retained earnings indicates growth.
Yeah, it definitely grew. What does it indicate when retained earnings grows? What does it most probably mean?
Profits are going up.
Yes, yes. So retained indicates that 2007 net income was what? What can you say about it? Was at least 66,952. Okay. Because if dividends were 0, then we'd know it was 66,952. But if they paid out dividends of 10,000, then net income would have had to be 76,952. Okay. So, and then you want to make a statement. This is a huge recovery, huge growth from its deficit position of 40,589. Yeah. And because you don't have You really don't have, it doesn't make sense to do a percent. There we go. All right. Retained earnings indicates that 2007 net income was at least 66. This is a huge, and let's be real clear, this is a huge favorable growth from its, I don't think I spelled that right. Deficit. There we go. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. So now you've got your evidence. You've got your evidence here in number 3. You've got your evidence here in number 2. Number 1, what are you going to say on number 1? The financial position of Netflix for the 2-year period ending is what? Favorable, unfavorable, neutral, or inconsistent?
Favorable.
Yes, yay. Okay. And then your summary statement, you don't want to put more numbers in your summary statement, but just make it pretty simple, like Netflix growth in long-term assets and profit show. So you're giving a nod to your evidence without getting all in your evidence. It is in a strong position in 2007. Something like that. Okay. All right. So start with your evidence, give yourself a conclusion, and then work from there. Okay. And those of you that had me last quarter, this is pretty familiar writing. So there we go. All right. Okay. So it's really important that you understand how to build the net change, how to create the percent change, and that you use those calculations in your evidence. We can't use the percent when you have a deficit balance. It just doesn't mean a lot. So, all right. So that's the end of that. So let's stop there. Any more questions on practice exam for now?